Hey, Stephanie, thanks so much for taking some time to jump on a call with me today. I just had a couple of questions for you, but first of all, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your business does and what you do for clients?
Yeah, my name's Stephanie DeBoer, and I'm a local attorney in Missoula, Montana. I've been practicing here for about 12 years, and I focus on family law.
Cool. So what caused you to initially reach out to want to work with me in the first place?
The firm I was at was dissolving, and I had to figure out what I was doing with my own business. And I had some poor experience with the previous firm I was with and their decisions in marketing.
Right.
So I needed someone to build me up my website that was specifically for my business, and then get information about advertising and what I should do, what I shouldn't do, and how to proceed forward with that.
Next steps from there, basically. Okay. So we've been working together for almost 2 years now. What sort of results have you seen up to this point so far?
My business, when I went out on my own after you got on board and I took your advice and you built my website, I saw my income triple in 1 year.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, it was partly going out on my own and like not having to provide someone else part of my income. That was part of it. But I just saw the amount of leads that I was getting come in a lot more, and to the point where, I couldn't even take them and I was having to turn people down because I was too busy.
Well, because you were still doing your own marketing even with the other firm, right? You had your own website and
I wasn't in control of it. I had no really say over it. They were still advertising, I think, in the phone book at that point.
okay. So it was a big upgrade.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
were using someone that probably was techie enough to sort of get them advertising, but
Right.
not enough to really do a great job about it, because we would see lulls and it wasn't consistent.
But you're still more or less doing the same things. You were doing Google Ads, a website, and SEO, right?
I don't think they did SEO. I think they just did Google ads, and it was pretty minimal, and they would, change it, like pull back and not do as much 1 month.
Uh,
So it was kind of really at their own discretion whether they wanted to pay to advertise or not.
okay, that makes sense. Um, so after we did start working together, how quickly did you start seeing results from the work we were doing?
I think I would say immediately. I mean, part of it was that I was taking as many cases as I could because I was going out on my own, but I don't remember at any time there being, not consistent leads coming in. And there would be times when I was like, it was slow, and I would just check in with you and say, hey, what do you see? What's going on your end? Just wondering if what's going on with your end of things? Is there anything we should be doing? But I never really saw a really severe slowdown in my leads.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have multiple channels, right? You've got Google Ads, and then you also have your website ranking and bringing in leads. Then you're not relying on one source, which is what it sounded like you were doing before. Kind of had Google Ads just sporadically delivering leads. So that's
Yeah.
probably a big upgrade. Um, what sort of changes have come about in your business um, from this increase in sales volume that you've seen?
I was able to, because of the increase of revenue, I was able to first purchase my own office. I
Oh,
bought my own office. It's a suite in another bigger building. And then because that happened, I was able to hire an associate. I just took on a new front desk person that's kind of overseeing, my front desk area. And then I have plans at the end of the next quarter, at the end of the year, to probably hire another person to come in, because I'm starting to take over more of the business side and have less, a little bit less legal work and having other people do that.
was that your end goal?
I don't know. Like my previous firm that I worked for, I never had to do any of the business stuff. And my mentor, he didn't either. He wasn't the partner. And he always said, he's like, I just don't want to deal with that. And I didn't think I did either. And I've come to kind of enjoy that part of it.
It's kind
Um, it's a new thing. And I don't like being bored. I like new experiences. And I found that like, oh, that's kind of enjoyable to do the managing part.
yeah.
And just kind of have control over your own. It's had given me a control over my own future and go planning, looking at like putting into my retirement more than I ever thought I could.
Yeah. That's huge. And I think a lot of people, when they go off on their own, their biggest problem is getting new business. You
I think
know?
that's yeah, usually the first year is always a loss. Like you kind of expect to run at a loss your first year because you of all
Grow
your
by
expense
3x.
because of all the expenses you're taking on. And
Yeah.
when I broke down like what the costs were to do to the advertising you were suggesting, I mean it sounds big to some people, but when you go, yeah, but this many cases in a month, like one case pays for it and more, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like that big of a deal if it's making sure that you have consistent work.
Right. I think the emotional side is a really big aspect of it too. Feeling good about things and not sitting around waiting for business to come through.
Yeah.
So what would you say to other business owners that are interested in potentially working with me?
I would say the first thing is like I'm not techie enough to do the stuff you do. Obviously, that is your specialty, and you're really good at it. But I really appreciated when I was asking questions. I'm like, oh, he probably thinks this is such a dumb question, but it never came across that way. You were very good about explaining things in my, in layman's terms so that I understood it. And I really appreciate that because I like to know how things work. I don't like to just give my money away and be like, well, I hope it works. I want to know what it's going towards, what the process is. And when you broke it down for me, that helped me really go, okay, this is worth it. This is where I should put my money.
I think you had mentioned that right from the very beginning, saying, like, thanks so much for taking the time to explain this such that I understand what's going on, what money I need to put aside, and everything. So, cool. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to jump on a call with me today, and hope you have a great rest of your day. And we'll talk soon.
All right, you too. Thanks, Travis.
All right, bye.
Bye.